Hello, good morning. I hope this video finds you well. um, yeah, I wanted to do a video this morning and talk to you about my healing process and share this with you because it's been such an amazing journey. It's actually been quite a spiritual journey from where I started to where I went and to where I am now. I've hit all these different phases and I wanted to share it with you because it's like so profound. So, the accident happened on November 13th. It took me a week to get to all the doctors and get the information and this, that, and the other until I finally was able to go to a physical therapist with, hey, this is what's wrong. And started physical therapy on November 20th, even though on the 19th I started doing it on my own because I knew what was wrong then. I was like, yay! Not yay that it happened, but yay, I knew what was happening. That smoke, wow, it's picking up the smoke from my incense. It's really cool. And so the next 2 weeks, I did such amazing work in healing the knee. I was starting to walk pretty well, and 2 days into the walking really well, I had sat down on my bed wrong, going down onto my knees, and that actually just caused all this pain. There was no pain in my knees before. There was just like, nope. It just felt weird. It didn't feel painful. I was building more trust in my knees, and that's what I was needing to do. And then it was like, now I'm needing to build trust in my knees and deal with this pain. And there was this underlying feeling of like I'd done something wrong. And so there was that going on, and then 10 days later or something like this, I tripped and all my weight went on my right knee or leg, and there was more pressure and more pain. And it's just like a fascinating thing to see how the mind comes in and actually wants to disable our success button, because really the body heals. The body heals. Like, we might trip, we might do something, but it's interesting where the mind goes. And my mind just went, I did something wrong. And then last week, I went to my PT person, and it was the first moment I realized that when I moved into my new place, my first day, I'd done all my exercises in the shallow end of the pool, because in that pool is only shallow and there's only deep, like deep. So if I were to do some of them, I'd be underwater a bit. And my first day, I did all of them in the shallow end, and then the second day when I went in, I was realizing how shallow it was, and I was like, oh, I can't do this. And it's amazing how fear just encapsulates the mind, the body, and everything. And it just says, oh, I can't do this. When the truth is, I just did it the day before and I'd forgotten or decided not to go and do it again. And so I just stopped doing it that way. I would try to figure out how to try to do it a different way. And then when I saw... my PT person said, fear can really, basically stop us. And I sat with it. And the next morning, one of my friends just wrote something about reminding me of like how the body heals and trusting my body. And between those two little things of remembering what my first day here, and then him reminding me that the body heals, trusting my body to heal, I'm like, I know that. It was so beautiful to be reminded. And that day I did lunges. I started balancing on my right leg. There's a step, let me show you. In Balinese houses, there's these steps that you have to step over to get into your house. And I would always have to get my crutches out and step over that. And that day I just said, I'm going to just step over it. And I did. I got in the pool, I swam twice as long, I did my exercises better, I did bridge. It was so incredible. I started doing the things that my PT person said I'd been able to do for 1 to 2 weeks. It felt so empowering. I felt so strong and in my power. And then later on that day, I did something even different. I for the first time I walked to a restaurant that's near my house, and on the way back, so on the way there I just used my crutches. On the way back I used my crutches as balancing rods so they weren't under my armpits. And I walked down the hill almost all the whole entire way, except for two really, really steep areas, without my crutches being under my arms. And like it just woke up something in me, and just felt incredible just to just feel that empowered and that powerful over my life. I realized I was recommitting to my healing, recommitting to doing it differently than I had been doing it the 2 weeks before. And yeah, so that just felt really, really incredible. The next day I did bridge, and I'd actually taken my left leg and put it into the air. So all of my weight was on my right leg. So bridge, I don't know if you know it, it's like feet on the floor, you're laying on the floor, and then you bring your pelvis up to, straight from your knees to the back of your neck or shoulders. And then you lift one leg up once things get stronger. Well, my second day doing that, the first day I could only take my left foot this much off the floor, and the next day I was all the way up in the air. And it's like, what an empowered feeling that was, just to be doing that. And now I'm just finding I'm walking around town with crutches in hand instead of on my arm, under my armpits. And it just really brings me back to, believing in myself and believing and trusting in my body, and recommitting. And it's not a commitment from here, it's a commitment all the way through my cells, my being, my spirit. And the last 2 nights have been like softly like dancing in the pool, which I realized what was going on was the reason why everything was kind of like dropping down is because I am used to living in this physical world. Everything I do that I love is like dancing, hiking, backpacking, walking. Everything's physical. Wrestling, cuddling, everything that I do is physical. Like, sure, okay, I meditate and stuff like this, but I am this spiritual being that lives in this physical body, and it's just the way it's what brings me happiness is being physical and going to the gym and working out and lifting weights and all this stuff. It's like so many people are like, oh, I hate that. I'm like, this is what brings me joy, brings me happiness. So starting to work out in the pool, and then the last few days like dancing in the pool, I could actually feel the happy hormones in my body, and I think all of this just shifted everything. And so now I'm in complete and utter like belief and commitment to this transformation, and I'm walking better than I ever have, or ever have in the last 5 weeks. Not ever have. And so yesterday I woke up and I could see in my mind, I want to share this with you. What had gone on in my mind is when I injured myself the second time with the sitting down wrong, I stopped visualizing myself dancing. I stopped visualizing myself doing the things I love. And we have to continue to visualize the things we love and that we can do them. And so the last few days I've been waking up with these visualizations of dancing and hiking, and I was like, okay, I'm recommitted. By November 13th of next year, 2020, I am dancing full out again. And I am going to be hiking Mount Kilimanjaro come the next 5 years. And I talked to my PT person about this, and he just like, first of all, you're going to do it before then. Second of all, completely reasonable goal. And I just love the support I get from him, and keeping me on track and being realistic about this healing process, because yeah, it's going to take a year. Yeah, he's like, you'll be dancing before then, but dancing full out, probably a year. If it takes less than that, great. But I think keeping that reality in mind is awesome, and not also letting it bind me to it. So it's like, oh, yeah, it feels really, really amazing to be feeling all this, and it's like the joy and the happiness is showing up in my system, like people are going, wow, you feel so different. And I do. And I'm just watching all the goodness coming into my life. I'm actually so happy I'm in Bali. At first I was like, here? Really? This is not where I wanted to be. I wanted to be, I'd rather be in India. This is where I'm supposed to be right now. One of my favorite places on earth. And now I wake up and I look at the pool and I see everything around me. Like, look at this view. This is my front porch. So this is my view that I get to wake up to every morning. And you see the blue over there? That's where the actual pool is. And this is my view I wake up to every day. And I get to go into that pool every morning and every night. I get to do my exercises. I love my little home. And I'm finally getting yeah, I'm here. I have reasons to be here now. Working, putting together my online coaching program and seeing so much blossoming through. And I think this was just for me to get still on so much, believing back in myself, my body, and connecting with my truth on so many levels. And then, certain things that are happening, it cracks me up. That I'm like, what happened? A whole mess of necklaces just showed up at my door the other day. No idea where they came from, whatever. And it's like, I'm just now just seeing all the blessings and all the gloriousness of this life. And it feels so amazing. It feels just so awesome to get in my body and move and dance also. And even if I can't do it from my knees, I can in the pool though. So anyway, I just want to share my story with you, and I hope you are doing great. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Believe in yourself. Connect in with your truth. Recommit to the things that you're passionate about. Really get into those things and be with them, because those are the most amazing, extraordinary things we can do. Recommitting to our passions, our joys, and believing in our systems, ourselves, our beings. This has been such a spiritual journey. I started this pain. The injury happened in a 2.5-day it was a 4-day meditation. This happened 2.5 days in, and now I feel like I'm back in the spiritual place that it happened in, and just ecstatic, because I was ecstatic then, and now I'm ecstatic again, and I'm like, okay, this is beautiful. So, okay, believe in yourself. Recommit to the things you love. Big hugs. Thank you for being here. Ciao.